AI, ChatGPT, large language models. This all sounds really overwhelming, right? I get it. But what if I told you that it's as easy as sending a text message for you to be able to have the power of millions of people who are far smarter than you and I in your pocket, any chance, any place, 24/7 to solve your daily problems, to help solve bigger than just daily problems and help you become a better person. I don't want you to just trust me on this. I'm going to show you how I have used ChatGPT and other AI platforms and softwares and things like this, the programs. I'm going to show you how I have used ChatGPT to absolutely amplify my performance as a father, as a partner, as a self-employed business person with multiple different career paths and my fitness journey, all of these things. I'm going to show you how I have done this very easily. All you have to do is have the ability to send a text message. And I'm going to give you 3 words to remember so that this is really easy for you to take with you from here and hopefully amplify your skill set and your ability in your life to make everything that you do so much better than it has been. You don't have to be some tech guru. This is not a video to dive deep on the inner workings of things and all that. I'm not that guy. This is not that video. This video is for the person who sees AI and ChatGPT all over the place in the news, in their feed, and they're just like, I don't get it. I don't know. I see people using it and apparently making a lot of money and some cool art or whatever it is, but I have no clue how to do it. I'm going to show you how I have done this and juggled everything from fitness to family, multiple careers, all of these things. My name is Anthony Thomas. I am a father to 2 young boys. I love fitness. I have been in and out of trying to keep my fitness game really strong and stay healthy for well over a decade. I've competed professionally in the sport of long drive golf, and I want to make sure that I save my time. I don't have time to just waste. So this is exactly how I use ChatGPT to save me time, to buy back my time, and not only that, but to make sure that the time I spend doing things has a far greater impact than if I went at that thing alone, like I did for so many years, like we all have done for so many years. So roll with me. Let's dive in. This is exactly how you do it, exactly how I do it, and you don't have to be some tech genius. Just be able to send a text message and remember 3 words. Me, you, do. That's all you have to remember. It's very simple. And the reason that we're going to go about this is because you can use ChatGPT, you can use these things, these tools, and there's levels to the abilities that they show up with. So anybody can use it, sure, but I want to show you how to make it work incredibly well for you to where you might have one problem, this person has the same problem, and if you give it just a little bit better formatting for how you use it, and by formatting, this is the me, you, do formatting that I'm going to give you, it's going to perform at this level, whereas this person just does a kind of simple thing with no real formatting and no simple structure to how they ask this thing or Google in ChatGPT, and their performance might be here. So I'm going to show you how to maximize this as simply as possible. We're going to first go into fitness. So for me, fitness, I used to love programming. For myself, I loved building my workout programs and going in. It was kind of like my art. That was my creative outlet. What exercises am I going to do today? What am I going to combine? What muscle groups? How am I going to hit strength? How am I going to do explosiveness, agility, mobility, all these things? I used to love it. It was kind of like people who love painting or drawing, whatever your outlet is, that was it for me. It was like creating my own workout programs and all this stuff. As a father and the busier I got, that has just gone out the window. I don't have the time to just sit and spend and ponder and be in the gym for all this time. So that's out the window. I know that there's evolving knowledge always in the fitness game. And I remember years ago, this is probably some 8 years ago, I was in Germany and I was hanging out with a couple of Olympic track athletes. And I remember this was the first time that I had seen vibration technology for recovery of the muscles. They had these foam rollers that it wasn't just a normal foam roller. Those have been around for a while, but their foam rollers, they were battery powered and they were vibrating. And it was like, whoa, what is going on here? And it was explained to me, if you try to pull something that's like stuck, like think of like a mailbox post or a fence post that's cemented into the ground. If you try to just pull it up, it's damn near impossible. But if you wiggle it and shake it around, it loosens everything up around it and it becomes a lot more mobile and you can pull that thing right out. So this was explained to me and it was like, holy smokes, how did it take this long for people to figure it out? How did it take this long for me to figure it out? But luckily, at that time, I was kind of at the forefront of that technology to be able to witness that and see it and have that exposure. So I thought, man, that's crazy how fast and how far fitness is moving and evolving. So I want to be able to use those things, use the latest and greatest information, science, and everything to uh, my best abilities. And that's what ChatGPT does, is it sources all of these things together to where you have instant access. You have instant access to all of these. So I'm like, okay, how can I use ChatGPT? I'm going to set my goal. I know what my goal is, whether that's I want to lose this much weight or I want to be at this body fat percentage or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You set your goal and then you use this platform to maximize your time spent. So I'm no longer spending 5 hours to gain 3%. I spend 5 hours and I gain 6%, right? Which is terrific, whatever that may be. So fitness, this is where I was like, all right, let me start using this. And I've been using ChatGPT to build my workout programs for a couple years now. And it literally will spit out a workout program that quick. You just type in what you need from it, and it pops up. Same thing with fatherhood. I use it for bedtime stories for my 3-year-old. Now, I get it. Being creative and making up your bedtime stories, I do that too, but not every day do I have that level of energy and creativity at the end of the day for me to go, okay, let me get a nice framework for a good story to tell this kid and everything, but I want him to have a wonderful experience. So based on what he's interested in that moment, I can create a bedtime story using ChatGPT instantly and an accompanying cover photo or imagery with that I get to show him, and he gets to look at, oh, zoom in on this. Oh, that's really cool. So I'm going to show you all this stuff. Same thing with a partner. My lady, she is the expert with pelvic floor exercises and pelvic floor health overall. That is not my realm at all, but I wanted to be able to help her to be able to implement some things, right? I've done coaching for years. I've coached people, life coaching, all these things in a lot of different avenues. I wanted to get her off of the starting block, so to speak, from, oh man, it'd be really cool to help people. They're like, here's how to do it very easily, very quickly, very simply. Boom, you're the expert, but I know how to get things going to where you can create this guide a lot more quickly than spending days on days on days. This isn't about taking away the art and the creativity that you have. This is about taking the bulk of the work that you're just kind of like, oh, I don't want to spend all my time on this thing, and you get that done for you instantly so that you can just fine tune it with your level of creativity, of art or interest that you want to. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm going to show you a few different levels of the input, the me, you, do input. Me, you, do. I'm going to show you a few different levels of this. The first one, bedtime stories. This is where I started to create bedtime stories for my 3-year-old son. This was around the time of Halloween, as you'll be able to tell from the first one. But this is ChatGPT right here. Essentially, it's just an interface where, forget about these right here. You can just click on this for new chat. It'll open a new chat that you can start. So that's what all of these are on the side here, are different things that I created based off of a topic of interest that I had. So, bedtime stories. I started this one off. This is the low level. I said, create a short bedtime story for a 3-year-old where the main character is a skeleton. My 3-year-old, Halloween time, was into skeletons, so this is what he wanted. Instantly it pops up. Once upon a time, there was a friendly skeleton named Sammy. Sammy the skeleton. Yada, yada, yada. It gives the whole story. Wonderful. Then I'm like, create an image of Sammy the skeleton. And here's that image it created, which is awesome. It was spot on. But the question I have here that you should be asking as well is, how is this such a good image of a skeleton for a 3-year-old? Like, that is so friendly. Sammy the skeleton here looks so child friendly. The reason is because the me, you, do. The me was a 3-year-old. That's what I input. I'm a 3-year-old, or this is for a 3-year-old. So me, a 3-year-old. And I want you to do the bedtime story creation with the skeleton here, right? So that's why it's like 3-year-old appropriate here. When all I wrote was create an image of Sammy the skeleton. Boom, pops that up. And then we go on and I'm like, okay, give me another story and a photo of a scary scarecrow. And that's a little bit creepy. And I didn't love this one. So I was like, okay, that's great. And it tells this awesome story, which is like a spooky story. He wanted something spooky. I'm like, cool. I said, give me a more toddler friendly image of a scarecrow. This is what pops up. So you have, and these are damn near instant. You have this ability to go a little bit more detailed, a little bit more detailed. And the more detailed you get with the me, you do, the better the outcome you get. As you can see here, right? You go from, oh, that's not really toddler friendly scarecrow. I didn't give it enough information of what I wanted it to do for me, right? What I wanted you, ChatGPT, to do for me. I didn't give it enough. So then I say, okay, give me a more toddler friendly image of the scarecrow. And then boom, that pops up and nails it. So that's like base level. This is how most people are going to be using ChatGPT is they're going to just say, hey, I want this thing. And that's it. That's the base level. We're about to blow that out of the water. I want to show you how I use this and amplify the skills that you get from this and the output you get from ChatGPT to where you are like, this is insane. I have the world's greatest assistant in my pocket always, and that assistant is an expert in everything that I'm not. So this was like step one, right? Let's go up. Let's call it one level. We'll go up one level. I'll just take you 3 levels here to just keep it simple. So this is my workout thread. Now, there's different kind of, think of it as like selecting different apps within ChatGPT. And that's what these are over here. You can, a GPT, that's like, think of that as just app. You have a different app. So I went to this fitness workout app and started a new chat, and that's what this is. So you see the fitness workout and diet PhD coach. This thing is, if I show you the about, it's pretty insane. So it's trained on more than 230,000 PhD level empirical data points. That's what this thing is trained on. So a lot better knowledge than I have around fitness. So this is, I'm in good hands. Now, me, you, do. ChatGPT, me. Who am I? I have been an athlete. This is what I wrote in here. I have been an athlete from age 3. I'm 35 now. I'm 6'3" and 220 pounds. Already, this is more info than the first level we gave, right? Rather than, hey, I'm 35 years old, I give it a little more background. I've been an athlete since I was 3. I'm now 35 years old. I'm 6'3", 220 pounds. My goal is to get to 210, but stronger, more flexible, and explosive in order to optimize performance in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and firearms tactical courses. That's me and my goal. That's what I want. So that's like a lot more detailed than the first one we did. And then the you do is help me get there, right? That's not fantastic. I understand that. And this, I'm showing you the different levels of the output that ChatGPT will give you based on what you form your question as and how you form your question. So this one is like, okay, a little bit better. And the output here is like, okay, here to optimize this, da 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 da. It immediately spits this out. Step 1, nutrition and weight management with some details here. It breaks down like your protein, your carbs, your fats. Here's the kind of levels that you have, your hydration, your supplements. Step 2, strength and explosive training, key training variables, yada, yada, yada. It gives you a lot of different exercises you'll be doing and so on. Step 3, tactical functional integration. And it's saying, here's some things we're going to incorporate with this stuff. Step 4, flexibility and mobility, yada, yada, yada. And then it asks, would you like this broken down further into a day-by-day schedule, or do you need adjustments based on equipment or time availability? Excellent question. And I say, yes, give me a day-to-day for 6 months. Also, give side notes or special circumstance options for when I either miss a day or two. That's happened so many times for me over the years. I'll be in the fitness game. I'm on a good streak, and then I fall off for a day or 2 or 3 or 4. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I go back like to where I fell off or what? So this is a question that I asked. And I say, you know, sometimes I miss. So should I pick up where I left off or go with whatever workout would have been this day if I hadn't missed any days? And include what to do when traveling if I don't have access to equipment. At home, I have a cool home gym with a lot of equipment, a lot of gear. And that's something you can tell ChatGPT. You could say, here's a list of all the things that I have in order to perform whatever it is that I need to perform. And it will take all that into consideration. So that's what we're getting to. As you can see, the trend here is the more information you give it on the me, the better the output it will give for you, for the you and do portion. So I say that, it comes back with this. Here's your 6-month overview. Phase 1, weeks 1 through 8, foundation. Build strength, mobility, conditioning. Phase 2, weeks 9 through 16, is progression. We're going to increase intensity and we're going to add explosive power. Phase 3, optimization, high intensity, sport specific integration. It goes into your weekly structure, what those days are going to look like. And then it goes a day by day. Here are the specific workouts, reps, sets, everything. And this is so fast, right? I mean, this takes literally less than 10 seconds to spit out. So that's great. This is the key part. Remember when I said the special circumstances? If I miss a day, here you go. If you miss a day, if you miss one day, just resume as scheduled. Do not make up that missed workout. Cool. That's good to know, because typically I would be like, oh, I got to go back. And now I'm thrown off because I don't know. Usually Monday's chest day, but since I missed a day, now it's Tuesday, or I don't know. So I get thrown off from that. And that just takes away from the flow of knowing, like, Mondays I do this, Tuesdays I do that, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, if you miss 2 or more days, just return to the workout corresponding to the current day. Example, if day 3 is Wednesday, skip what was missed and prioritize recovery. Whatever. Also, special circumstance, travel or limited equipment. Use body weight and resistance bands for strength, push-up variations, blah, blah. It just gives a lot of options here based on what I gave ChatGPT to use in order to formulate this thing for me. It's so good. Now, let's ramp this up. So we went from bedtime stories. Hey, give me a bedtime story for a 3-year-old that involves a skeleton. That was the initial input. And then it was like, okay, cool. And it gave this story. And then I say, oh, also give me a cover image for this story. And it provides that. Great. And then I tried the whole scarecrow one. Hey, give me a story of a scarecrow with an accompanying image and make it spooky. And it was a little bit more freaky for a 3-year-old than I would have loved for bedtime stories. So I'm like, make it toddler friendly. Boom, does it. We're scaling up the level of information we're texting into ChatGPT. So now I'm going to go up to something. Actually, this is on YouTube. I'm going to show you specifically the whole build out and how detailed you get with your input. Remember, me, you, do. So I'm going to give information on me, and then this is where it gets really good on the you part. So this is the vlog success blueprint. I'm literally the Dynamic Daddy YouTube channel, which is like a whole silly thing that I'm just creating, and that's what this is all going on to. But a lot of this work was done so quickly and so easily for me because I'm using this stuff. So oh yeah, you can change the name. I accidentally just double clicked over here. You can change the name of whatever you want, but if you just leave it, it'll basically show up with whatever your initial input is. So check this out. Actually, we'll go to the bottom. So this is like, here's a list of 10 names for a video series focusing on making ChatGPT easy while emphasizing the emotional connection and avoiding the fear of being left behind. I gave it the input. I said, give me a list of 10 other names that focus on ChatGPT made easy, but focus on the emotion of bonding and avoiding fear of being left behind. The reason for this for me is because there's a significant feeling that I felt when I'm watching all these people and it's like, oh, AI and all these different things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what any of this means. And I don't even know where to begin. And it felt kind of scary because things were happening and moving so fast and I was so lost. And even where I sit now, I feel like I don't really know much, but I know enough to make my life better. And that's what this is all about. So that feeling I had, I wanted to put that into the title of this video to hopefully connect with people like you who might be feeling the same way that I felt. And hopefully this will solve that problem for you. So that's where this list of names came out, and I'll be able to either use one of these, combine them, do whatever. I haven't even named this video yet, but let's go back to the start of this specific thread. This is my YouTube channel thread. This is when I was like, should I start this thing? Because I really love the idea of creating videos and sharing tips and sharing stuff that I've learned along the way from other people, and just pass that knowledge on, because it's incredible what you can do with your life with just one missing link that you happen to pick up from somebody else, and it might just connect the chain for you to live a much better life. So that's the goal for me, is to do that and provide that sort of thing for other people like yourself. but also to hopefully entertain you to where maybe you just enjoy life a little bit more from watching my fails, my struggles, whatever it may be. So here we are. We're vlogging, we're sharing tips and like the how-to stuff as well. This is the very first, I can't scroll up anymore. Very first input I gave for this chat on ChatGPT. And look at how specific I get. Me, you, do. I am starting a vlog which will be shared via YouTube. As a self-employed model, actor, charity golf entertainer, father of 2 boys, a toddler and a baby, happy relationship with their mother, homeowner with DIY projects, a home gym in the garage, new to practicing jiu-jitsu, 35 years old, with a well-trained 4-year-old 80-pound dog, living just outside Portland, Oregon, where we love the trees, nature, shooting guns, golf, life coaching, and I travel often for work. I want to share bits of my life by capturing clips throughout the week, and each episode will take place over the course of a single week. The current plan is to set an intro video that has my goals for the week and aim to accomplish those in the video. Act as, now that was the me portion, okay? All of that, those 2 paragraphs, that's the me. This is who I am, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I'm wanting, right? Like kind of put my goals in there. I'm starting a YouTube vlog or a YouTube channel. That's me. Now remember, that's just one of the 3 things. There's me, you, do. So now I'm telling ChatGPT who you are. I'm assigning you as the expert. I don't want you to just answer, say, hey, this is what I want. Like earlier, right? Create a story for a 3-year-old with a skeleton. Super simple, not going to give you as great results. So I say, this is me. This is a big bulk breakdown of who I am. Now we're moving to the you. From me, you, to do. So now we're moving to the you. Act as my personal consulting group led by Casey Neistat, Jordan Peterson, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Tony Robbins, the Kardashians, Bill Burr, Mr. Beast, and Mark Rober. Those are questionable people for you. I understand you might look at this and be like, what an idiot. I'm not going to listen to Anthony ever again. He put Kardashians in there. Come on. Look, just I feel like I need to defend this for a second. Casey Neistat, one of the, or if not the most famous vlogger of all time. Jordan Peterson, I think one of the most brilliant minds, regardless of where you stand on his position on things, one of the most brilliant minds, and his recall is incredible. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who doesn't love The Rock? And obviously he's built in multiple avenues of his career incredible success. Tony Robbins, one of the greatest coaches of all time for success and, you know, business and success coaching. The Kardashians, they have completely blown out of the water levels of success for attention like none other. So I would want them on my consulting group, despite my feelings toward how they are, how they behave, whatever. They obviously are doing something right in order to build business from attention. Bill Burr, one of my favorite comedians, hilarious. I gotta have humor in all this stuff because if you're not laughing, you're dying. Mr. Beast, most successful YouTuber of all time. And Mark Rober, also very successful. Love the guy, love his videos. Very smart guy, way smarter than I am, especially with science, math, all these things. So I would love to have these as a team of people. I just assigned ChatGPT a framework to say, act as my personal consulting group that's led by these people. So I went from the me, this is who I am, this is me, who I am, and what I'm after, to the you. This is who you are. You are this group, this consulting group, combined and led by these people. So that's the you. Now, when we get to the do portion of this, it's going to be ramped up. This is where you ramp it up. You don't have to know much. Just me, you, do. And the more details you put into each one of these, the better outcomes you get from ChatGPT. Let's get to the do part. This is where I get to ChatGPT. This is me. This is who you are. Now do this magic, ChatGPT. Here it is. Ask me whatever questions you would need to know in order to build a plan to make this endeavor highly successful in terms of profitability, growth in fan base and viewership, as well as overall enjoyment for myself, the creator, and the audience who view these. That's what I want you to do. I don't just want you to be like, hey, tell me what to do. I'm telling ChatGPT, this expert panel of people, I'm saying, hey, I'm an idiot. I don't know anything here. I'm jumping on YouTube kind of like the first time ever to be creating stuff like this. I don't really know what to do here. I just want to share behind the scenes, kind of my life and stuff, because I get a lot of questions around different areas of my life, and some people tend to think that it's interesting. I love my life, but it's just my life. It's kind of like my normal. So I want to open this up to and share it with people and peel back the curtain on some things because there's a lot of misconceptions around stuff. So I want to peel that back and share it with people. But I'm an idiot, ChatGPT. I don't know what to do, how to do it, where to begin, whatever. I also don't even know where to start asking you what I should do. So I'm telling you to do the asking for me. So I want you to ask me the questions that would be relevant for me to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve. For here, I want to achieve viewership, and I want to achieve growth of fan base. I want to create a community here of people that enjoy, the videos that I create, that I spend time away from my family or with my family, whatever, creating. And profitability is great. I am a self-employed individual. If I can profit from giving value to people, spectacular. But I don't know how to do this. I'm an idiot. So with all of this, I want you, the experts, to do the asking. Ask me whatever questions you need to know in order to build and plan this out. Boom. Let's go. That's the me, that's the you, that's the do. Now let's see what we get to. And if you can look real quick, if you can look at the scroll bar, let me move this out of the way. If you can look at the size of this scroll bar on the right side there, you can see how much I have in here. I mean, you see some images I'm flying by, blah, 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 blah. Still going, still going. There's so much. And I just started this literally, 3 weeks ago, I think it was. So there's a ton that I've used in here, but just starting out with this, if you start out with all of that info, everything else that I ask in this thread is going to be taking that information into consideration. So it's really useful when you put the me, you, and do into a thorough level of input like this. It helps out in everything else that you ask. So let's move on. Let's see what it did. Here are a few questions to help tailor a detailed plan for your vlog. Content strategy. Look at this. Let's see how many questions it popped up. 13 questions. That's nothing crazy. It took me probably 5 minutes to put this in here, and essentially 5 minutes of answering these questions from that expert panel that I created out of the abyss. It just gives me these questions to go, oh, okay, content strategy. We're going to focus on production and logistics, goals and monetization, consistency and growth, personal enjoyment. I can go on, and I can do a deeper dive on this stuff if you want. I think we've covered enough here, though, to see how impactful this is, right? It asks me the questions. All I have to do after that is my response to this is literally I just number it. Question 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. Question 1, 2, 3, 4. And I literally answer the question right there. I don't have to do anything crazy. It's not like school where they're like, state the question before you state the answer, to say like, wow, in regards to, what was question number 1? What is your target audience? Instead of writing this like, number 1, in regards to what my target audience is, I would say that blah, 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 blah. I literally just answer the question. Number 1, a mix of these groups, mostly anyone who is driven by personal growth and developing into the best version of themselves. That's the general. You watching this, that's probably you, because you're looking at this, you're like, oh, I want to be better at ChatGPT or at my life, and I have this tool that I know is helping people, but I don't really know how to use it. So you're here watching this video, especially if you made it this long. It just makes everything so much easier if you do this well. Don't go level 1 unless it's some, I still go level 1 on a lot of stuff. But if you're really wanting to get the most out of this, don't just go, hey, tell me how to do this thing. Use the me, you, do format. And the more information you give it and the more you assign it to a skill set. Some examples of this. Me, I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm a single mom, 5 children, and I work 3 jobs. I'm so tired at the end of every day. I'm struggling to make ends meet. I have a spending problem. I'm consuming so much, whatever it is. That's the me portion. You are a financial expert, a leading individual who coaches people specifically focused on single parents of multiple children. And I want you to do something to help me save more money, stop spending so much, and overcome that. And I've been spending way more money than I should be, and all of it on credit cards. Help me fix this with a mindset shift to gamify saving money rather than spending. I'm a big fan of spending on credit cards rather than spending on debit cards. We can get into that on another video, but if you know anything about banks and how they work and like credit card fraud versus debit card fraud and what that does, people draining your debit account versus your credit account, totally different ball game. So I spend everything I purchase is all credit cards. But I'm like, I'm buying all this stuff, this project, that project. I don't need to do all these right now. I could space this out. I could save more, invest more, all this stuff. And I've just been spending a lot more than I need to. So I'm like, help me solve this problem, ChatGPT. So this is what I put in here. And I'm like, help me gamify this. Make it fun for me to save money. Make it fun for me to stop spending money. And it spits out this awesome stuff, like set a high score for your savings goal. And it gives kind of breakdowns of each of this stuff. Compete against yourself with your credit card. Compete or create no spend streaks. Like how long of a streak can you go? How many days in a row can you go without spending anything? So it gives all these cool little options. Whatever your life problem is, this is where I would start with ChatGPT. Figure out what problem you have or what challenge you have in your life. If it's time and you're like, oh man, I always have to think of a recipe to cook for the kids, whatever. Hey, here's my focus. I have kids who are sensitive to these things, and I want to feed them the most nutritious and healthy meals to help them grow healthy, strong, and make sure I avoid these foods. Make me a menu of items that is so easy to cook and takes less than 20 minutes, but it's still very healthy that I could cook weekly. And boom, 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 boom. You just saved yourself because now you just have that. Also, create the grocery list and the shopping list for each meal. Whatever. This is literally infinite in terms of the uses for this. And I hope that you take this and run with it. I hope this helped you to just be more efficient in your life. And overall, if you can learn from this and apply it and make it as easy, you don't have to be the tech genius. You don't have to spend 3 years and thousands of dollars like I did to learn this stuff. Just keep it simple. Me, you, do. And the more detail you get with what you are, who you are, what your problem is, what your challenge is, who you need in order to have solve it, and then the do part. If you don't know what to do, just tell it to ask you the questions. I don't know what to do here. Ask me the questions you need to know in order to give me the best possible solution to my challenge. And from there, you're off and running. ChatGPT is going to be your best assistant, and hopefully your life gets that much better. Until next time, thank you for tuning in all the way to this. If you like this, if you love it, share it, subscribe here. I'm a new YouTuber. I'm just building it from scratch, as you can see, using ChatGPT and my own wisdom, skill set, and all these things I've developed over the years. So if you like this, if you feel generous and you want to support, subscribe, make us official, and let's keep going along for this ride.